People love to blame external forces for their failures. They blame their parents, their teachers, the government, the economy, their genetics, the weather, anything and everything except themselves. Because the truth is painful. And the truth is this: the only thing stopping you from being where you want to be is you. Every morning you wake up, you have a decision to make. Do you hit snooze and waste another hour in bed? Or do you get up and chase the life you claim you want? Do you spend another day scrolling on your phone, distracting yourself from your failures, or do you take action? Do you stay comfortable, or do you push through the pain and become the man you were meant to be? No one else is making these choices for you. It's all you. But here's the problem. Most people don't even realize they are their own biggest obstacle. They've convinced themselves that their situation is out of their control. They think they're unlucky, that they didn't get the right opportunities, that the universe is against them. That mindset is the reason they fail. Because the truth is, life doesn't care about your excuses. Life doesn't care about your sad story. Life rewards the strong and punishes the weak. And weakness comes from within. Weakness is the voice in your head that tells you to take a break when you haven't even earned it. It's the voice that tells you to relax, that you've done enough, that success is too hard, that maybe you should just be grateful for what you have instead of pushing for more. That voice is your worst enemy, and most people listen to it every single day. That's why they lose. Look around. The world is full of men who lost the battle against themselves. They had dreams once, they had ambition, they had potential, but they let their weaker self take control. They let their laziness win. They let their doubt, their fear, their hesitation dictate their actions. And now they wake up every morning miserable, looking at themselves in the mirror, knowing deep down that they are failures, that they could have been something, but they lost to themselves. You don't need anyone else to beat you. You do a perfect job of that all on your own. Every time you procrastinate, every time you make an excuse, every time you choose comfort over discipline, you are defeating yourself. You are killing your own potential. And the worst part, you know it, you feel it deep inside. That frustration you carry, that anger at the world, it's not about other people. It's about you. You are angry at yourself because you know you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You know you're supposed to be better. The only person standing between you and the life you want is you. It's not about luck or privilege or talent. It's about whether you are strong enough to conquer the enemy in your mind. And most people aren't. Most people lose that war every single day. Most people live their lives waiting for motivation. They tell themselves they'll start working out when they feel like they'll start that business when the right time comes. They'll fix their life when they get inspired. And guess what? That day never comes because motivation is a fleeting emotion and emotions are weak. Discipline is what separates the winners from the losers. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. One day you might wake up feeling pumped, ready to take on the world, and the next day you feel exhausted, unmotivated, and weak. If you rely on motivation, you will never accomplish anything in life. Because when motivation fades, and it always does, you'll have nothing left to keep you going. That's why weak men stay weak. They're waiting for a feeling instead of building a habit. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel. Discipline is getting up and doing the work, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you're stressed. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like it. Winners don't give themselves an option. They do what needs to be done because that's who they are. Look at the most successful men in history. Do you think they relied on motivation? Do you think warriors in battle waited to feel like fighting? Do you think billionaires only worked on their businesses when they were inspired? No, they showed up every single day, whether they wanted to or not. That's why they won, because they knew that emotions are weak, but habits are strong. Every morning, you have two voices in your head. One tells you to hit the snooze button to stay comfortable, to relax. The other tells you to get up and handle your business. Weak men listen to the first voice, strong men listen to the second. And the difference? Discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you're exhausted, even when you're bored, even when you have every excuse in the world not to do it. That's why most people will never be successful, because they give in to weakness. They take a day off, then another. Before they know it, their goals are dead. Weak people say, I'll start tomorrow. They say, I need to find motivation. Strong people understand that motivation is a luxury. Discipline is a necessity. If you only work when you're motivated, you'll fail. But if you have discipline, you become unstoppable. Every man wants to be great. Every man dreams of success, power, wealth, and respect. But when it comes time to pay the price, they hesitate. Because the price of greatness isn't luck, talent, or connections, it's pain. Weak men run from pain. The moment things get difficult, they quit. They make excuses. They convince themselves that maybe success just isn't for them. But the truth is, they just weren't willing to suffer. Every powerful man you admire, every champion, every billionaire, every warrior, they all endured unimaginable levels of pain to get to where they are. The only difference between them and the average man is that they embraced it. Pain is a test. It's the fire that separates the weak from the strong. Life is constantly asking you one question: how bad do you really want it? If you aren't willing to suffer for it, you don't deserve it. That's the reality. Think about the gym. You lift a weight, your muscles burn, you feel pain, and what happens? You grow. That's the rule of life. No pain, no growth. It's the same with everything. You want to build a business? You will suffer. You want to be in elite shape? You will suffer. You want to be respected? You will suffer. There is no shortcut. But here's what weak men don't understand. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the doorway to power. Every time you endure it, you become stronger. Every time you push through it, you separate yourself from the cowards who ran away. Pain is how you earn your place in this world. Look at history. The greatest men who ever lived didn't have easy lives. They suffered. They went through battles, betrayal, failure, loneliness, and hardship. And instead of running from it, they thrived in it because they knew the truth. Pain is the price of admission for greatness. It's the cost of being more than average. Most people don't have what it takes. They quit at the first sign of struggle. They want comfort, but comfort is the enemy of power. A comfortable man is a weak man. He has nothing sharp about him, nothing dangerous, nothing worthy of respect, because all strength, physical, mental, financial, emotional, is built through pain. Think about that the next time you feel tired, the next time you want to quit, the next time you're in pain. The pain is there for a reason. It's life asking you, are you strong enough to handle what you're asking for? Every loser has a list of excuses ready to go at all times. They tell themselves they're too tired, too busy, too unlucky, too inexperienced. They convince themselves the system is against them, that success is reserved for the privileged, that life is unfair. But here's the truth. Excuses are nothing but lies you tell yourself to justify your own weakness. Think about it. If someone else, in worse circumstances than you, has already done what you claim is impossible, then your excuse is invalid. There are men who came from nothing, from absolute rock bottom, poverty, broken homes, war zones, who still found a way to win. They didn't sit around crying about how hard life was. They got up and handled it. But weak men, they sit around making excuses. They love their excuses because it gives them an easy way out. If they convince themselves that success is impossible, then they don't even have to try. It's cowardice disguised as logic. It's self-sabotage. Every time you make an excuse, you are lying to yourself. You are giving yourself permission to stay weak. You are avoiding responsibility because responsibility is hard. And weakness loves comfort. You tell yourself you're too busy, but somehow you find time to watch Netflix and scroll on your phone for hours. You say you're too tired, but you sleep 8 hours a night and still wake up lazy. You claim you have bad genetics, but there are men with missing limbs who still get in shape and build strength. Excuses are the language of failure. You think winners have time for excuses? You think warriors in the battlefield sit around explaining why they can't fight today? You think champions care about whether they're in the mood to train? No, they show up, they put in the work, because they understand that nobody cares about your excuses, only your results. Every time you hear yourself making an excuse, recognize it for what it is: a lie. Your brain is trying to protect you from discomfort, from struggle, from hardship. But guess what? Discomfort is where growth happens. The moment you stop making excuses is the moment you take back control. Losers let their excuses dictate their lives. Winners recognize excuses as the enemy. Because at the end of the day, there are only two types of men: those who make excuses and those who make things happen. Most people think success is something you achieve once and then it's yours forever. They think it's a single victory, a lucky break, or a moment of inspiration that changes everything. That's why they fail. Because success isn't something you get once. It's something you have to fight for every single day. Every morning when you wake up, the war begins. The war against laziness, against weakness, against distractions. The war against that voice in your head that tells you to sleep in, to take it easy, to do it tomorrow. That voice is the enemy. That voice is what keeps men average. And if you don't wake up ready to fight it, you've already lost. The biggest lie people tell themselves is that they can take a break and still win. They grind for a few weeks, they see some progress, and then they get comfortable. They think they've made it. But success doesn't work like that. The moment you stop fighting, you start losing, because there's always someone out there working harder than you, ready to take your place. There's always another challenge waiting to test you. And if you're not prepared, if you're not battle-hardened, you'll crumble. Look at the most successful men in the world: athletes, billionaires, warriors, legends. You think they take days off? You think they sit around feeling satisfied? No, they fight every single day. They know that success isn't guaranteed. that every day is a new battle, and that if they don't bring their A game, someone else will. Weak men don't understand this. They think once they've achieved a little bit of success, they can relax. They stop pushing themselves, they stop grinding, and then they wonder why everything falls apart. Their businesses fail, their bodies get weak, their minds become dull. They don't realize that comfort is the beginning of failure. Success is a war, and war never ends. You don't get to win once and then retire. You have to earn it every day. You have to wake up and be ready to fight even when you don't feel like it. Because the moment you let your guard down, the moment you stop pushing, that's when you start to lose everything you work for. Every day you have a choice. Go to war and fight for your success, or surrender like the weak. Most people surrender. They lose before they even begin. They let life beat them down. They let excuses take over. And then they wonder why they're stuck in the same place year after year. They don't realize that success isn't a single battle. It's a lifetime of war. This is the cold, hard truth most people don't want to hear. Nobody cares how you feel. You can cry, you can complain, you can sit in a corner feeling sorry for yourself, but the world keeps moving forward without you. Your feelings, they're irrelevant. Life rewards results, not emotions. Weak men base their actions on feelings. They don't go to the gym because they don't feel like it. They don't work on their business because they're not in the mood. They don't take risks because they're too scared. And then they wonder why they're broke, out of shape, and stuck in the same miserable cycle. Because instead of controlling their emotions, they let their emotions control them. You think the world is going to stop because you're sad, because you're tired, because you're anxious? You think successful men don't have bad days? You think warriors don't feel fear? You think champions don't wake up exhausted? Of course they do. But they do what needs to be done anyway because they understand that feelings are a trap. Most people live their entire lives as slaves to their emotions. If they feel happy, they work hard. If they feel sad, they do nothing. That's why they fail, because they never learn the most important lesson in life. Your feelings don't matter. The only thing that matters is what you do. The moment you start prioritizing action over emotion, everything changes. You stop waiting to feel ready and just get things done. You stop needing motivation and start relying on discipline. You stop caring about how hard it is and just push through. That's what separates the winners from the losers. Look at the world's most powerful men. You think they care about feelings? No. They care about results. They care about winning. They care about success. They understand that emotions are temporary, but discipline lasts forever. That's why they wake up every morning and go to war, no matter what's happening in their personal life. But the average man lets his feelings dictate everything. He's upset, so he skips the gym. He's stressed, so he drowns himself in junk food. He's unmotivated, so he wastes another day doing nothing. And then he wonders why his life never changes. The truth is brutal, but it's also simple. The world doesn't care how you feel, it only cares about what you produce. If you're weak, you get left behind. If you're strong, you rise to the top. It's that simple. Every time you look in the mirror, you're staring at your greatest opponent. The man looking back at you is the only one who can stop you from reaching your potential. It's not your circumstances, your upbringing, or the people around you. It's you, your discipline, your mindset, your ability to push through pain and discomfort. The battle is always internal. Win that and everything else falls into place. Lose it, and you become just another man making excuses. The weak version of you wants to take it easy. He wants to hit the snooze button, skip the workout, scroll endlessly on his phone, and indulge in distractions. He whispers that one day off won't hurt, that you deserve a break, that things will get better eventually, but eventually never comes. The weak version of you is a liar, a thief, a parasite. And the more you listen to him, the weaker you become. The strong version of you doesn't negotiate with weakness. He doesn't care how tired, unmotivated, or uncomfortable he is. He gets up and does what needs to be done no matter what. He understands that discipline is everything, because when you rely on motivation, you become inconsistent. But when you live with discipline, you become unstoppable. Success is a war, and war requires warriors. You can't fight and win if you're soft, lazy, or afraid of discomfort. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of struggle is an opportunity to sharpen yourself. Winners understand this. They embrace pain because they know that pain is the price of greatness. The losers of the world run from hardship. The moment things get difficult, they quit. They justify their weakness with excuses, convincing themselves that they tried their best, when deep down they know they didn't. They weren't willing to suffer for what they claimed they wanted. They let the weak version of themselves win, and that's why they fail. No one is coming to push you. No one is going to drag you to success. It's on you. If you don't hold yourself accountable, no one will. If you allow yourself to slack, no one will stop you. The world doesn't care whether you succeed or fail. You have to care. You have to take full control of your life and hold yourself to an unbreakable standard. You want power, you want success, you want freedom, earn it. Every rep in the gym, every hour spent building, every sacrifice made. This is the price of winning. The average man isn't willing to pay it, and that's why he stays average. But the elite, the top 1%, the true winners, they wake up every single day ready for war, ready to dominate themselves before they dominate the world. There will always be two versions of you fighting for control, one that seeks comfort and one that seeks growth, one that wants to quit and one that refuses to break, one that makes excuses and one that makes things happen. And every single day, you get to decide which one wins. The greatest battle you will ever fight is against yourself. Your fears, your doubts, your laziness, your emotions, they are all enemies standing in your way. But if you learn to master yourself, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. The man who conquers himself conquers everything. It's always you versus you. It always has been and it always will be. Can relax is the moment you start to lose. The weak version of you is patient. He doesn't need to win today. He just needs you to let up, even for a second. Because once you start making small compromises, sleeping in one day, skipping one workout, postponing one task, it snowballs. Before you know it, you're back to being the man you swore you'd never be. This is why true winners never stop pushing. They don't get comfortable. They don't let their past achievements make them soft. They understand that every single day is a new test, a new opportunity to either get stronger or slip backward. And they refuse to lose that fight. The average man spends his life negotiating with himself. He constantly looks for reasons to justify his weakness. I'll start tomorrow. I had a long day. I deserve a break. But winners shut that voice down immediately. They don't entertain weakness. They act no matter how they feel. They understand that discipline is built by doing the work when you don't feel like it. You either control your mind or your mind controls you. If you allow emotions to dictate your actions, you will never be successful. If you let doubt creep in, if you let laziness win even once, you set a dangerous precedent. Because every time you choose comfort over discipline, you reinforce the habit of weakness. Most people aren't defeated by the world, they are defeated by themselves. They have the potential, the ability, and the opportunity, but they let fear and self-doubt hold them back. They watch others succeed and convince themselves that they weren't lucky or gifted enough, when in reality, they just weren't disciplined enough to do what needed to be done. Your success, your power, your strength, it all comes down to the choices you make every day. There are no shortcuts, no magic formulas, no lucky breaks. You either do the work or you don't. You either win against yourself or you lose. There is no external enemy stronger than the enemy within. No obstacle bigger than the weakness inside of you. No force more dangerous than your own excuses. But once you learn to conquer yourself, nothing and no one can stop you. Because the man who has mastered himself is the most dangerous man alive. The war never ends. The battle between the weak you and the strong you will last until the day you die. And the question you must ask yourself every single day is simple. Who is going to win today? The difference between winners and losers is simple. Losers chase comfort, winners chase growth. One group spends their entire life avoiding pain, hardship, and struggle, while the other group embraces it. And that's why one group stays weak and stagnant, while the other dominates and rises to the top. Losers wake up every day looking for the easy way out. They want success without the sacrifice. They want a great body without putting in the hours at the gym. They want money without grinding for it. They want respect without earning it. They sit around, wasting time, indulging in distractions, making excuses, and convincing themselves that life should be fair. And when they don't get what they want, they cry about it. They blame the system. They blame luck. They blame everything except the real reason, their own weakness. Winners don't think like that. Winners seek growth. They wake up every day looking for ways to improve. They put themselves in difficult situations on purpose. They go to the gym when they don't feel like it. They work on their business when they're exhausted. They train their mind to handle stress, discipline, and discomfort because they know the truth. Growth only happens in hardship. Think about it. When do you grow the most? When everything is easy and comfortable, or when you're tested, challenged, and forced to adapt? It's obvious. Growth happens when you struggle, when you push past your limits, when you embrace the pain that weak men run from. That's the difference between those who stay average and those who become great. Losers spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They'd rather sleep in than wake up early and grind. They'd rather eat junk food than maintain discipline. They'd rather scroll on their phones than put in the effort to build something meaningful. And then they wonder why they're broke, out of shape, and miserable. Winners are the exact opposite. Winners see discomfort as an opportunity. They don't complain when things get hard. They get excited because they know that's where the real progress happens. While the weak are sitting at home making excuses, winners are out there suffering, grinding, and getting better. Look at the most successful men in history. You think they had easy lives? You think they got to the top by choosing comfort? No, they went through hell. They sacrificed, they suffered, they embraced the pain and used it to make themselves unstoppable. But losers will never get it. They'll keep chasing comfort, keep avoiding hardship, and keep wondering why they're stuck in the same place year after year. Because at the end of the day, you either choose comfort or you choose growth. And that one decision, it determines everything. Most people are terrified of failure. They avoid risks. They play it safe. They hesitate. And because of that, they never achieve anything significant. They don't realize one simple truth. There's no such thing as failure. You either win or you learn. Losers see setbacks as the end of the road. They try something once, face resistance, and immediately give up. They tell themselves they're not good enough or that it wasn't meant to be. But winners don't see failure as an obstacle. They see it as a stepping stone. Every time they fall, they get back up stronger, smarter, and better prepared. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than the average man has even tried. The difference is that they kept going. They understood that every loss was a lesson, every mistake was an education, and every setback was an opportunity to improve. That's why they win in the long run. Weak men avoid failure because they attach their ego to the outcome. They can't handle looking bad. They can't handle embarrassment. They can't handle defeat. So instead of learning from their mistakes, they run from them. They give up before they ever get the chance to grow. And that's why they stay weak. Winners think differently. They know that success is just a numbers game. The more you try, the more you learn. The more you learn, the better you get. And the better you get, the higher your chances of winning. It's inevitable. The only way to truly fail is to quit. Every great man in history has suffered losses. Every warrior has been knocked down. Every champion has tasted defeat. But instead of crying about it, they analyze what went wrong, adjust their strategy, and come back stronger. That's what makes them dangerous. That's what makes them unstoppable. The problem with most people is that they want instant success. They expect to win on the first try, and when they don't, they give up. But that's not how the game works. Life is about trial and error. You try, you fail, you learn, you adapt, and you try again. Repeat that process enough times, and eventually you win. But the weak will never understand this. They'll keep making excuses, keep avoiding risks, and keep wondering why nothing ever changes. Winners, on the other hand, embrace every loss as a lesson. They see failure for what it really is, a necessary step towards success. At the end of the day, the only enemy you truly have is yourself. Not society, not the government, not your parents, not your past. You. Every single day, you wake up to a battle against the weaker version of yourself. The version that wants to sleep in, the version that makes excuses, the version that seeks comfort instead of growth. And every day you have a choice. Conquer him or let him win. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to hand you success, discipline, strength, or power. You either take it or you don't get it at all. That's the truth. Your feelings, your fears, your excuses, none of it matters. All that matters is whether you show up and do the work. Most people lose this battle. They let their emotions control them. They let their laziness dictate their actions. And then they wonder why they're stuck in the same place year after year. But winners dominate themselves. They understand that pain is necessary, discipline is non-negotiable, and excuses are nothing but lies. You have all the tools. You have all the opportunities. The only thing standing in your way is you. If you fail, it's because you chose to be weak. If you succeed, it's because you chose to be relentless. It's that simple. Every day you step into the arena. The fight is you versus you. And the outcome, that's entirely up to you.